As mentioned in playing over the 5th chord degree, it is very important to know how to jump from playing pentatonics for the 1st and then playing pentatonics for the 5th. And this is a useful trick because we've seen how to jump from major to minor. You can do it here and do it here. But knowing how to jump from 1st to 5th is another skill in itself. So let's look at the chord shapes that you'd have to do for each one, and we'll talk about mnemonic tools to help you memorize them. So here's the first, and it's an E shape, and here is the 5th, and it is in C shape. A word that has E at the start and C later, beach. So imagine some sand or some sort of sand pail or a sand castle. So you know that whenever you're playing E, you can jump to C. So here's the setup. Now with D shape, that's your first scale degree. You jump down to A shape. So where you have D shape, so the second set of patterns, you have D shape, and it can be a minor. But for the 5th scale degree, you have the A shape, or a minor, and a 4th, back to 1st, or you can do that up here. And a word that has D at the start, A later, is dad, so think of your dad when you're playing this, or a dad, doesn't really matter. The 3rd shape is C, and the 5th chord degree is G, and so a word that has C at the beginning and G later, cog, like a cog in a piece of machinery. So think of that when you're playing C. Try to make an image. Alright, so in cases where you have an A shape in your first chord degree, you would be jumping down to E for your 5th chord degree. And a word that has A in the beginning and E later is ale, like a beer. So think of a pitcher or a glass. You can think of that glass boot if you want, with some sort of drink in there. But ale, this is A, this is E. And lastly, you have your G shape for the 1st chord degree, and then D shape for your 5th chord degree. And the word for that is God. And you can think of, whatever that means for you. It's just an image trick to help you think of an image every time you're playing a shape. So when you're playing this one, an E and jumping to C, beach, D to A dad, C to G, a cog, like a cog in a watch. From A to E, some ale, and from G to D, you think of God.